In many indigenous cultures of the world, it is prophesied that a time would come when the earth would become sick because of man's greed. The people, having forgotten that our Mother Earth is sacred. At this time, a new tribe will gather from all nations, known as the warriors of the rainbows. They will be mankind's key to survival, and will remember through the ancient wisdoms how to heal Mother Earth. That day is upon us. Aho.
Think of all the things that this mountain needs. You've lived here for so long, you know the healing that it needs. All of the bad things that's happened here needs to be erased. These are the messages of the Great Spirit. You can do this with sound and vibration. Mother Earth, be with us. Come forth.
My name is Gina Weiss, and I've lived in Big Bear for 20 years. And we were in our 6th year of drought in 2004.
We've had droughts in Big Bear. I mean, it's part of our ecosystem, but the trees didn't die like this year, this last drought. That was so alarming. That was the thing that made this drought different. This is something I've never seen. We were to the point where it was very frightening, and I noticed little things like the ants. All of a sudden, there are no ants in the trees. Their mounds in the forest are empty, or there would just be a few left and they would be dying. This is a part of the healthy ecosystem of our forest. No matter how small the creatures are, they're really important to the entire full scope.
We had at least a good 7-year drought, and things were pretty sparse even before that. And I think a lot of our aquifers kind of dried up. At least that's my assumption.
Our lake was, what, 15, 18 feet down.
Even after a decent snow, it still stayed down.
We had the experience the year before of evacuating. The entire mountaintop was evacuated for 4 to 5 days because there was wildfire that actually came within 8 miles of Big Bear. Our community was looking for ways to solve the drought problem. The City Council, along with the water agencies, the Department of Water and Power, and the Big Bear City Community Services District, the Regional Wastewater Agency, and even the ski area, Snow Summit, had all voted and agreed to spend quite a bit of money to cloud seed so that we could help our drought and get some water to the trees and in the lake. It was actually going to be $500,000 over the course of 3 years. It was $166,000 a year. I had some objections to it, largely because it's toxic, but actually my first objection to the cloud seeding was the fact that at best it was supposed to improve the water, the precipitation, 5 to 10% over what we would have had normally. And as far as I was concerned, 5 to 10% of very little is even less. So it didn't even seem cost effective. Then we found out when Joe Bradley did the research how toxic it was, and then it was completely unacceptable.
Hi, my name's Joe Bradley. I'm a 15-year resident of Big Bear Valley. I'm a physics teacher at the high school. I worked for a while as a wildlife ecologist in the 1980s. I love this valley and I love this land, and I've been real concerned at some of the things that I've seen. The forest isn't as healthy as the forest needs to be. We've had years and years of drought, bark beetle infestation, a fire that actually threatened the entire valley. The plan of the leaders of our valley to seed the clouds for 3 winters in order to bring about more rainfall. At the time when I heard of this, I thought if it is something that will bring us rainfall, I guess that's okay. But when I talked to Blue Thunder about this proposition, he mentioned to me that the cloud seeding is poison, that they would use poison to seed the clouds, and it would poison the land, and it would poison the animals and the trees and the plants and the microorganisms and the people, and so I was very concerned. So I started researching about cloud seeding. I prior to that had known very little, and through countless hours of research, I found out several things. Number one, the cloud seeding doesn't really work at all. There's not been one scientific study done in the last 50 years that showed cloud seeding was effective at all in increasing rainfall. I guess the sure sign of that is the American Meteorological Society. I found out that as a whole, They came out and said that they do not support cloud seeding as an effective means for controlling weather at all. In fact, they said it could just as easily limit rainfall as increase rainfall. The silver iodide is the chemical that would be used to seed the clouds. And I found that even though the cloud seeding company was saying that silver iodide was not a poison at all, the state of California lists it as a hazardous material, a type 1 hazardous material. You can't dispose of it. It's considered a poison. It's a priority pollutant by the EPA. So our own Environmental Protection Agency lists silver iodide as a priority pollutant, and yet that's the chemical that this cloud seeding company was going to drop over this beautiful valley. Getting information from the company, I found that they said it was insoluble, that it wouldn't dissolve in water. And then I found out that their chemistry was off a bit, that if you have a lot of water, like this body of water that we have here at Big Bear Lake, we could actually immediately dissolve perhaps as much as 660 pounds of the substance. In doing so, the fish that live in the lake would take in this poison. We have bald eagles that now live year-round on this lake, and they would eat the fish. And so that was a great concern of mine. There's also spotted owls, another endangered species that lives in this valley, and they would also be subjected to that. Should we seed our clouds with silver iodide, the substance, even if it didn't dissolve in the water, would then land on leaves and plant vegetation that animals would eat. And as soon as they would eat that, it would instantly dissolve in the acidic environment in their stomach. So that all these animals, whether they drank the water that was now polluted or not, would be taking in these poisons nonetheless. There were studies done by the National Park Service, the U.S. Biological Service, and the World Health Organization. And all three studies came out and said that not only does it not work, but where in areas where we have cloud seeded, we've found these toxins in the animals that live there. The Santa Ana Quality Control Board that controls the water from Big Bear Lake all the way to the Pacific Ocean, and they came out in agreement and said that all of these accusations, all of these statements about what could happen are truth. And they declared that if our valley went ahead with this plan of seeding the clouds, that the Santa Ana Quality Control Board would pull all of their funding, which amounted somewhere between $2 and $4 million per year. With that being the case, thank goodness, our valley decided that we would abandon the plan for cloud seeding and trying to increase rainfall with silver iodide.
When Journey to the Heart put on a conference called The Gathering down at Jenks Lake near Big Bear, that day, which was September 9th, it was pouring, and it had not rained here in months. I later checked the newspaper, and there was absolutely no weather predicted, but on the drive down, I thought, somebody's doing something. Somebody down there knows what's going on. Because The Gathering is a conference of indigenous healers and wisdom keepers from all over the world. It occurred to me to ask who here knows most about calling the rain, and I was directed to Blue Thunder.
My name is Blue Thunder with the Eastern Shoshones, Wind River Indian Reservation in Wyoming, working to help bring the visions and the dreams to all nations and all cultures. The reason that I came here was because I was invited by the Journey to the Heart organization that invited 30 indigenous healers from around the world to come speak about how the earth works. So they heard of this ceremony that I did right here, called the 19 + 1 = 20. We call it the Magnificent. Here's those 19 sacred sites. There's 19 of these points. In the sacred sites, the mountains and the energy places where the energy crisscrosses and goes through is called a medicine wheel. That circle is 1,200 miles this way, 1,200 miles that way. What the earth was made of is electrical magnetic energy and these grid lines. So those energy lines get gnarled and knotted and stuck, or they disappear altogether. And then those are dead zones. So if there's a dead zone on the body, it'll turn to decay, and it'll be rotten flesh and green. So on the earth, the same thing happens. Electrical magnetic energy was disconnected because of the mining, the railroads, any development, housing developments that dig holes in the earth. Those holes leak light. Everything is affected by thoughts and actions on the earth. The earth holds harmonic sound. Vehicles, bulldozers, and other types of machinery go out there and break the rock. That sound goes into the rocks. Now everything does not vibrate in harmony. in 2002, the scientists were now saying in Yellowstone, underneath Yellowstone Lake, there was a caldera that had risen 10 stories tall. What had happened because of the bad vibration and sound, on the opposite side of the world is the Caspian Sea. Around the Caspian Sea is Iran and Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, bombing, shaking the earth. So that vibration goes all the way through the earth, touches Yellowstone, and vibrates. So the cracks of the earth vibrating close. Now the caldera is rising, getting ready to explode because of bad sound and bad vibration. In our tribal nations, we have a story that's called the butterfly effect. If a butterfly flips its wings on one side of the earth, it will be felt on the opposite side. That's how sensitive Mother Earth is to sound. And the scientists were saying that if the Yellowstone blew, it would be 200 times the size of what Mount St. Helens was. They mentioned that the cloud of dust would have went around the earth and blocked out the sun for 2 years. The dreams and the visions came to me and told me to get out of college. They said, your real degree is in the rock art, in the canyons, and the valleys, and you're to go there and get the real wisdom and the knowledge. So I went into the petroglyphs and the rock art canyons, and in these areas, the rock art began to teach me about the circle ceremonies called medicine hole ceremonies, which are the same writings that were in Grand Teton area of Wyoming and other areas. What I've learned to bring the water back through the ceremony that was written in a rock art, this one right here. This ceremony has been written in the rocks for 6,000 years. This is the earth, or these are the 4 mountain peaks in the Grand Teton, and the earth stands in balance with the grid lines, the energy lines of Mother Earth. These energy lines are what hold us together. And the message from Mother Earth came and she said, tell the people of the earth, my children, come together in peace and harmony and sit on the sacred sites and sing their songs together and praise the creation of Mother Earth and thank her and thank the Great Spirit God. And when you do this, and the people will come, the volcano will go to sleep and will not explode. And so I traveled for many months, from November 2003 until May 8th of 2004, asking the tribal nations to help the white people, the black people, and the yellow people. And when I went to these mountains, I had to recharge them with crystals, sacred stones. In the Grand Tetons, we had 300 people arrive here. And in these other places, there was anywhere from 250 to 25 people. And the message was, if only one person went here, that would be all that was needed to put the volcano to sleep. And it happened. So on May 8th, we were to vibrate the earth for 24 hours with songs. So when we did this for 24 hours, the volcano went to sleep. And those cracks opened up, and then the geysers began to go again. And then the pressure was alleviated in Yellowstone. The rain and the snow and some of the springs were open in this big circle. On June 3rd, 2004, the scientists in Yellowstone National Park were having a meeting about what happened to the volcano, and they were going to show all their seismic graphs. When I got there, they were now called the tribal nations together, and were wanting them to do more vibration and sound in Yellowstone National Park as we had alleviated the problem. We can repair the earth and reconnect these electrical magnetic energies through the sound and vibration. Drumming here in the middle send out these waves like this. Every time I hit the drum, it's electrical energy. My thoughts is electrical energy. And when I hit that drum and I put my thoughts in, my thoughts go out and it fixes things because it's prayer. So if we can fix this volcano, what else can we fix with thoughts and prayers and sound and vibration? So we did this with sound and vibration and love and thought forms. The earth holds such powerful sound that she is alive and she's real. She's conscious. She's a living organism.
Right after this, Blue Thunder came up and decided to help us do a healing of the mountains here. That through the years of mining and road building and construction, that we've actually disrupted the ley lines of the land.
When Blue Thunder came, he came with an open heart, and he came with a willingness to share and to empower that we really all can take a role. Blue Thunder was such a gift to our community because he brought this wisdom that came from his ancestors and from what he had learned in life that was really his passion. And he brought not only the wisdom, but he brought his deep love and his deep heart for nature and for understanding and working with the earth.
So on October 26th, we did a training with about 25 people by the lake in Big Bear, where Blue Thunder explained to us about the vibration and the energy grid and how all of this worked.
The laws are not structured to protect the environment. The laws are structured to make money. The laws are structured to cut the trees down. The laws are structured to pipe the water. And it's up to us to change these things and the new laws and regulations to understand what's happening with the earth. We have to be one with the planet. This is what the Native Americans understood. So the trees talked to us because they had a vibrating message. The rocks, the grass, so on and so forth. And Mother Earth has a spirit, so she communicates to us also. We are part of everything. Powerful energy was upon the surface of the planet. Right now that energy has been dimmed. And Mother Earth can change all things and put it back into working effect immediately. But what will happen was catastrophes will have to take place and the humans will be hurt. The rocks hold the crystalline matrix together, which is called the ley lines. So if you pick up any rock out there and move it back and forth in the sunlight, you see like little diamond sparkles in there. That's the energy that holds things together. And when highways come in and cut the surface of the planet, it disconnects those energy lines. So what we're going to do now is put these lines back together. So the Earth has been imaged with bad vibration. It's the heartbeat of Mother Earth. This sound is this. Heartbeat. This is the heartbeat of the universe. Scientists have found that there's a thudding sound in the universe going doom, 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 doom. That sound connects to the sternum, connects to the heart, connects to the universal presence. We connect the energies back to the surface of the planet, we fix her, the energy lines will come back together. So this is why we smudge, this is why we use the drum. In the medicine wheel ceremonies, we go to those mountain peaks and we energize them with sacred stones, crystals, and those things pull high light, high energy, and reconnect the energy back to the sacred peaks or to the areas that were developed and disconnected. With these ceremonies that we're doing, we'll vibrate the earth and we'll repair the cells of the earth. The sound pulls the ley lines together. With the vibration of the drum and the vibration of our tools and our voices and speaking in peace, we'll image the earth again with sacred purity again, and then the ley lines come back together. That the snow will come back in and the rain will come back in.
The forecasts, for the winter were not supposed to be a winter of much rainfall at all. But as soon as we started training for our ceremony, our sacred ceremony, medicine wheel ceremony, we had a snowfall of 2 feet, and this was in October.
People that were looking out the window were actually seeing the spirals coming in and anchoring into the lake. What was forecasted was a very large snowstorm way, way, way up north, an Alaskan storm. And that one they couldn't track anymore, they lost it, and I believe we got it because we got 2 feet of snow and the ski slopes opened a month early in October. Normally they're very happy if they open on Thanksgiving weekend. Blue Thunder set up this amazing medicine wheel ceremony. So between then October 26th and November 15th, Blue Thunder was traveling around to these 8 other sites on the spoke and organizing people and training them at those areas. On November 15th was the day that we did the giant medicine wheel ceremony where everyone was at the 9 sites simultaneously from sunup most of the day. And we had, amazingly, for a town this size, for this little community, we had about 65 people at our hub site here in Big Bear out on the lake. Then after the medicine wheel ceremony, we wanted to have a celebration so that we could get everybody from all the sites together and we could share our information and our experiences. And we set up a dinner and a wonderful celebration on the 20th. Many of us were kind of praying that there would not be heavy snow until we had our celebration so people could get up here to the mountain from the other areas. And that worked. We were good at that. But on the 20th, where we had this wonderful gathering of people, and we had Aztec dancers from Los Angeles, a family of 11 that were just wonderful, and we had people from all over from different cultures. It was amazing.
It was just a marvelous ceremony, and it was probably about 9 p.m. that night that Jola looked outside and said it's snowing, and it's snowing hard. When that snowfall stopped, we again had a 2-foot snowfall.
And the children from the Aztec dancers were outside screaming because they had never seen snow. It snowed so heavily that within an hour or so we pretty much had to tell everybody you're not going anywhere. Where we did really ask that we not have snow so they could come up, we forgot to ask that it be delayed until they got down the mountain.
As the winter progressed, it turned out to be the second wettest winter in history in Bear Valley. And this all happened after all the predictions were that we were in the most severe drought with no end in sight.
Then we have had precipitation throughout the winter, very heavy precipitation, such that the lake, which had been 17.5 or 18 feet down before we started all of this work, by April or so was full, absolutely full.
It got within 1 inch of the top.
That's the unique thing now. If you look at that lake right now, it's full, because we haven't had what you might call, any big torrential rains or anything like that. You say, well, it just filled up because of what happened 2 weeks ago.
After last year and the ceremonies with Bennie LeBeau, the water came back, and I noticed also the ants came back. Some were different breeds of ants. However, they're back in the trees again. They're coming back, and that's a hopeful thing. Ants can be considered a pest, but actually, they are important.
Fred was mentioning to me when he was a kid, he used to go down into Holcomb Creek and fish. And we kind of joke about that because for the last probably 10 or 15 years, I don't think I haven't seen a fish down in there, but I know people fish.
Well, we were lucky to see water.
Yeah, and this year the beaver are back down in there. The beaver ponds are full, and we actually saw some trout down there, and that was the 1st of November, which is really rare. Whenever we do encounter wildlife right now, it's kind of a real blessing for us. We kind of stop and appreciate, whereas before we would be yelling and maybe shooting a gun or whatever, but now it's like, you know what, we better take care of these people. They have a certain element that we need, I think this time of the year, normally we see things pretty well dried up. Lake or pond generally by this time of year would be dry.
Be dry.
Yeah, and it's full. Some of the backcountry roads still have water running down them. The seeps are still flowing. We ran into one yesterday that was not only flowing, it was actually spurting water. And we haven't seen anything like that for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
But the water is clear. The spring that comes out of that particular camp there, it's just crystal clear.
Cold and drinkable, just great.
The other thing we noticed, particularly yesterday, I noticed that there were a lot of birds. Generally, we don't see that many birds, small birds, large birds flying. The interesting thing is they have water now, whereas this time of year, when the water source dries up, they usually leave the area. A lot of these creeks that Fred and I either walk over or ride over, even on the valley floor here and then up a little bit higher, are still running. And that's kind of odd for us. In the 25 years that I've been here, this time of year it would be really, really rare to see water even trickling in some of these places.
Yeah, usually it's just potholed up and maybe a spot where it's coming right out of the ground, and the creek down below would be completely dry. This year the creek's running right on down all the way through. Especially that creek we were at yesterday, that thing dries up right off the bat, and it's been watering all summer long.
And it's nice to see the water staying for longer periods of time.
After the medicine wheel, Blue Thunder explained to me that the work had really just begun, and that there was a lot of work that he would like to do around the entire valley that would really bring this grid together. And that's how we got him back out here this year.
Here's the Big Bear Medicine Hole. Here's Big Bear Lake. Here's those 8 points on the outside. The area from Big Bear Lake where we did the ceremony goes out 120 miles out. Now these points right here, these are 4 points vibrating together with sound, and us in the middle. So there's the Big Bear people who are vibrating with the drums and singing songs and asking for prayers or sending circles out. The drum, every time you hit the drum, your thoughts went out. Electrical energy vibrating, healing all the negative things that happened on the earth, fixing it. Those out here, we're doing the same, sending it in. We were sending it out. They're sending it in. We're sending it out. It's going up. Okay, here's all 8 of them vibrating together. Look at all these energy lines reconnecting. This is the flower of life. Bringing the water. Water went way out, went all the way to Las Vegas. This is how the water works, the vibration, the springs and everything. Right now there have been many springs that have opened in Big Bear. A lot of you know about this. Why have they opened? Because of this. I also predicted last year that when the snow came, I predicted that there'd be no snow this year. And I mentioned also why. Because the vibration and the sound that's going on in this valley will disconnect all the work that we did. most of it, I shouldn't say all of it, 3/4 of it. But the springs would still try to work. Now what I've been asked to do was to help bring more water and snow here. So I've been here for almost 2 months working and studying the earth again, looking at these peaks on the top of Big Bear to help energize the earth again. Okay, this is what we're doing right now. Re-harmonizing the peaks around Big Bear. Tip Top, Onyx, Sugarloaf, Grandview, Crabs, Johnville Flats, Hawes, South Peak, and Silver Peak, and Keller. And then the last one that we'll be doing will be in the center. So we're going up here, a lot of the devastation of the mining and development around this area has disconnected the energy here the last 100 years, almost 200 years. And when they disconnect the electrical energy, well, what we have is this, what we're going through now. No more water because there's no snow. So what I'm doing is using crystals, and these hold high energy, white light. So when I vibrate the drum, the energy shoots in here and charges the mountain, and stores the energy back in there and prepares those peaks. That's what I'm doing on all those peaks. This is old age, old wisdom, so now it's coming back to many of us how to energize the earth and the world with these sacred stones. These lodestones are genetic magnets that hold the earth together. So I use these to repair the earth and the grids with these crystals. I'm a crystal. This is a crystal. The water is a crystal. The clouds is a crystal. The oxygen. So we have been made to download, to manifest our thoughts on earth to make what we need, all through the crystalline grid. This is how things work. So we're getting ready to harmonize for the water and the snow that the springs for the next season. Healing Mother Nature, for Mother Nature to heal, to sustain life here, which is the grass, the trees, the rocks, the animals. You know, all of us are working together now to bring clarity and wisdom of what happened to the earth. The development on this mountain is causing this electrical energy to short circuit from the mountain. It's turning it into a dead zone. And electrical energy is a conductor to the water, to the springs, and to the rain. The trees hold 300 and 400 gallons of water. How much gallons of water do we hold in our blood? It's the same and similar. That tree came here to give us oxygen, and its roots go into the earth. And the tree gathers electrical energy from the sunlight and the wind and generates electrical energy into the earth. And that's the importance of the trees. So if we cut the trees down, the light leaks out of the trunk. And then the energy is leaking out of the earth. Well, it's easy to fix, and that's with our hands. It has electrical energy. Stick it on the end, ask it to heal and seal. The nerve endings, it's leaking the light, and then it seals and stops. Then you seal the light. Now the tree turns healthy. So looking back into history, many people died down here in this flat. The Chinese, the indigenous nations, Mexicans, whites, blacks, and the yellow nations. Their spirits are still trapped in the soil. The earth images all the sound like a videotape recorder, and it's being replayed over and over. So you see the battle still going on. Their spirit is there. Electrical magnetic energy, the vibration of what they were doing when they died, and they were never released with prayers and great thoughts. And so this is the energy that needs to be cleared from this valley. That is negative energy, and that's what we came here to heal. We're told in our tribal nations, when we cook food, not to put our thoughts of anger and hatred on the food. As you're stirring the pot and cooking the food, your thoughts are bombarding the food whether you know it or not. So you're mad and you're stirring that, thinking maybe ugly things. Maybe, I wish that person would get in a car wreck and die, or I hate that person, or whatever it may be of the emotion. So that thought goes into the food, vegetables, meat, whatever it is, because in that pot is water. The meat is water. The vegetables is water. The water is a great conductor of electrical energy. So our thoughts is electrical energy, and we shoot them out like rays. When we eat the food, the people become sick, stomach aches, illnesses and sicknesses can happen, anger and hatred, whatever the thoughts were that was put in the food. Now if someone went there and put great thoughts on a food and blessed it, cleared it, then it's full of white light and electrical magnetic energy. We as indigenous, knowledgeable people like myself carry this wisdom. So they try to call us medicine men or shamans, but we don't call ourselves that. We call ourselves professors of knowledge of the earth. So what I do is I ask this plant to be blessed by the sun, the creator. This is white sage. So we're given this plant to use. So when I ask the Great Spirit to bless this, which is the white light, the electrical energy, and my thoughts, I ask it to put the message of peace and love on the earth
and it goes into this plant. Just like water. If I put my thoughts on water and tell it to be love, peace, and harmony, then that's what it is. So my thoughts are on this, and I offer this to the Great Spirit. That nothing but love, peace, and harmony, and giving thanks and gratitude to the earth. So I give this offering, and I spread it on the earth. Because I'm making white light. You may not see it, but some people can see, and they see, there's white light. It's sprinkling. It's like stardust on the earth. Why is that? Because I charged it and put white light on it. How did I do that? Because I'm in peace, and I have white light, and it went on here. Now it's there. So that sealed it. Now I can dig a hole, and it won't leak the light. So what we're going to do is reset the earth because of the mining and development and sound and vibration today. So my vibration goes into these crystals. I have a high charge of energy, but they've already been charged by the sun for I don't know how many days of laying in the sun, so they gather light, just white light. And I come and put my thoughts in them, so I ask them to bring harmony to the earth to help release the spirits that are locked in the earth in bondage. So we're going to release many things today. How to do this, how to do that. That's what everybody's fighting over. How to do this, how to do that. You're wrong. Well, there's no wrong way. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. There's only just get it done, and it is. It's all. There'll be a lot of vibration in here. You're going to feel it going on. And it's vibrating. So the prayers are on that. All these piles of stones that were around here, it has prayers on them. I put my prayers on here. I put it in the stone, and I put my thoughts here, and my prayers are in the stone because this holds memory. It holds energies. My thoughts are in this. If 1,000 people come put their prayers right here, then that thing magnifies with a bunch of white light and energizes out into the land. And what it's energizing is those thoughts. So that's what will manifest in the area. That's the importance of the piles of those prayer stones that are left around the canyons and the peaks and the piles. That's what the tribes are doing. When the earth went out of balance, they went up there and fixed it. Not with greed, ego, anger, or hatred, but only peace and love, because they knew they had those kinds of thoughts. There would be wars and fighting. So they only wanted purity, so they only put great thoughts, because all this stone is crystal. This is crystal, so this held all of our prayers and our thoughts today. So this whole place is vibrating with our thoughts and our prayers now to enhance what we need to bring forth peace and love and freedom in the valley.
We were coming down off of John Bull Flats after we had gone to the top of John Bull Mountain, and we'd had our medicine wheel ceremony. The whole area was holes in the ground, maybe 30 feet in diameter and 10 or 15 feet deep, where these guys just came along and just poked holes in the ground and got down to the bedrock and were panning for gold. It was a mining community, and these holes in the ground where they were living must have been a terrible way of making a living, thinking that you're going to strike it rich. It was so full of negativity, you could feel it. It was just a blighted area. I don't know how else to explain it. Benny actually started feeling bad and was sick for a couple of days after we went through there. We've ridden through there every summer for the last 20 summers, and I never even thought of it. We just ride through there, and it's just something. But being with Benny and being around him, and now becoming more aware of the earth and our surroundings.
I would concur with Fred with regard to being sensitive to some of these areas. You can actually feel the energy. When you pay attention, you can feel the energy. And when we ride through certain places, Fred and I will talk about that. Did you feel that? Did you see that? What's the sense here? And we kind of talk a little bit about it. Some of our friends think we're a little bit crazy, but that's okay.
While approaching this point, we found this tree up there that has a lightning strike. The lightning comes in from the thunder beings, and whichever color the lightning comes in shows the importance of what needs to go back into the earth. If it strikes pink, it's sending love into the earth. If it's blue, it's sending wisdom. If it's green, it's bringing new life. So there's 13 colors of lightning. Thunderbirds, thunder beings we call them. This is the energy of the colors of the rainbows. Like a tuning fork, shaped like a Y at the top. That holds vibration. It was used to restore some energy that was needed here, so the tree sacrificed itself. You can see where the lightning went down the side of the tree. The lightning restores electrical magnetic energy into the earth. That restores the earth and puts it into balance. It resets the heartbeat and also resets the electrical magnetic vibration. I wanted to show the importance of these stones. You know, these stones hold electrical energy because they're made of crystal. So you might be able to see the reflection in this rock.
So when the electrical lightning and the charge hits the earth here, it recharges everything to put the charge back in. And that's why it's so important. This is a very sacred site. It needs to be protected so much because these are what holds the earth together. If these are disconnected from the earth, it causes droughts, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, etc. across the earth. All of nature that's causing the havoc now is cleansing the earth. The charges of nature coming is fixing earth. And for us, when we do our ceremonies, we can recharge the earth to begin to soften the blow of nature that's coming. Now it's time for us to go back to work and love Mother Earth. So these stones listen with consciousness, like the earth, the wind, and the fire. All has consciousness. This rock has negative energy. So today when we do the ceremony, we change that thought forms from the bicyclers being up here who may have partied, angered, fought, argued, took the land out of harmony with their thoughts. Who knows what took place here for 500 years. Whatever took place here, we're going to clear all that from here today with our sound, our thoughts, and our vibration with the drums of doing this crystal ceremony. Have an open mind and an open heart to understand how these crystals work, and we used them in the past to heal the earth. Many blew up the earth in times of Atlantis by using these crystals. Many of our people remember, and that's why we're told not to use these crystals if we don't know what we're doing. I've had dreams and visions about these crystals and how to use them. The Cherokees have a lot of messages about crystals, so they still work with crystals a lot. So do the Navajos. So do many other cultures. Use them, be discreet about using these crystals and know what's going on. Before anyone attempts to do this, they should be initiated in wisdom and knowledge. But I've been given the dreams and the visions how to do this, and it's been working, bringing the rain and the snow. Great sunset this evening. The purple over there and the pinks and all that's talking about leadership and love and peace. The golden light is the light that's coming on the earth, they say, to hold down the bad sound, and that's so the earth can heal. That's what that golden glow is. See all the pink right now. The energy is here to help us, and the spirits are here. It's everywhere. So this is the sacredness of the earth, how sound and light and vibration and the colors of the rainbow warriors are returning. Once we do these ceremonies, the rainbows will return. These sounds cause bad harmony to the earth. Takes things out of vibration and harmony. Puts that sound into the earth, and that's what vibrates here. That's what doesn't let the water come in. Asking for the rights and the respect to come in here. If we pick anything up, make sure that it doesn't belong to another spirit. Ask their relations if we could use them for a purpose. Everything holds consciousness. We have respect for everything, then we have a great balance. And today we're going to balance and clear and cleanse nature. So what you're doing now, put the water on, is with love, your femininity, and energizing with your peaceful relationship as being a woman, because you carry more love than we do here as men. Because you're so kind-hearted and loving and caring with everything you do, soft and gentle. So that's what Mother Earth wants back, is the gentleness of the love and the caring relationships for all things, and you have that. So when you touch that water, that's what that water becomes. She's a woman, so she has more tender, caring thoughts. She has clarity and love and peace. So the men are overrunning and overpowerful and hurting others at certain times, like myself, talking bad, ordering people, telling them what to do, how to do this, how to do that. And the messages of the Great Spirit, Mother says, now is the time to suggest how to do something and not run over one another and persecute them and hurt their feelings. Today we're on Silver Peak. A lot of vibration is happening. The water is already rising in the water wells down below, and because of the work we did these things, and because of these mining, we're sealing these areas and putting them back into a sacred vibration, so the water will even rise more. Down here we have Black Hawk Mine. The energy's leaking out. Things are really changing in the Big Bear Valley area and around these mountains and these sacred peaks. Across the way, the Big Bear transfer station, and so this is where the trash is being covered. So the trash is there and it has illness and sickness within it. So this takes the earth out of vibration, which is adding to the problem of droughts. We're practicing earth wisdom, earth knowledge. No matter what culture, what teaching, whatever we have received, it's the same. Tradition is asking for the right to move a little rock or a stone or a grass, just to ask for permission. This whole mountain still needs lots of help. So when I leave, my messages are for people to be begin to be the practitioners and fix the land that's needed.
We're going to do the ceremony to connect to the mist. The mist is electrical energy. I knew that this mountain was going to be a very powerful mountain to heal, so we needed all the help we can. So with prayers and thoughts and intentions, sent the message to the Great Spirit to send the helpers in. So what we have this morning is this mist that's surrounding Sugarloaf. This is the energy that will hold things together, and as we talk about consciousness, we'll put our thoughts and sound into these clouds. It encircles this whole mountain, touches the water, the springs, the trees, the rocks, the animals, and the humans. This energy is what we are. That cloud is electrical energy. That's what I am. That's what each and every one is. It's spirit. We all hold spirit. We begin to understand this, the whole earth comes into peace. And right now, this is what will bring harmony to the whole earth. It's not a mystery at all. It's only understanding how it works. Nothing is a mystery. Everything is wisdom. The ravens, they're black, and so any darkness around us, they come in and clear the darkness off. So they follow me wherever I've been going. So they keep the dark energies or the dark spirits, and they clear it and clean it off. And this is what they're doing. Because everything works together. They help us, we help them. This is the way it works. The awakening of the Rainbow Warriors would come to life at this time with the new dreams and visions to speak about the rainbows. The Rainbow Warriors are us who will work with the knowledge and the wisdom of the earth at this time to speak about why that tree has water in it, why it radiates with the rainbows, and why it's electrical energy, and why the electrical energy goes into the roots, and the roots is the water which has electrical shock that touches the quartz crystal, that energizes the quartz crystal to send the electrical blanket across the earth, the electrical field that goes into our feet, that goes into the plants and makes the flowers grow, makes the trees grow, the animals connect to it, they grow, the insects grow from the energy, everything grows from spirit. We're all spirit, we're all electrical energy, and we're all water. Understanding water becomes a great knowledge and wisdom. When we know this kind of wisdom, we know why it's so important not to cut the trees down. The dead trees here have sent a message not to touch them. Why? And the tree said, tell them this, that tree still holds electrical magnetic energy. It's like a lightning rod standing there. And when the mountains get out of harmony, the electricity needs to come back into these peaks. So what's happening up here? Lightning. Why is lightning needed here? It's like a dead man falls down, a heart attack or a woman, so they take the two electrical nodes and they stick it on that person's chest. It goes doo-doo, 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 and their heart starts beating, their water starts circulating, it means the blood. So that's the lightning, shooting into the earth, repairing and fixing it, what the humans are doing every day by disconnecting it down below. And so it recharges again. If you happen to be in an area where it's being recharged, you got to be careful because you might get enlightened, knocked down by the lightning, and then have to be restored. Then pretty soon when you wake up, hey, I'm hearing voices, I think I can see the angels. Well, exactly, that's what happened. They got put back into order. So now they're beginning to understand everything holds a consciousness. It's very powerful. It's the wisdom and the knowledge of the earth is that electrical energy. So the trees, they've been enlightened when they've been struck with lightning, and they hold the energy in the earth, so they were picked to keep the earth sacred. And so that tree that's standing over there dead is important because it's still holding the energy that's needed. If you cut that tree down, right where you cut it off is, the light leaks out, the light force leaks out, the lifeblood of the earth. What we're doing is sealing the holes on the earth that was done with the mining and the development, to the gold, to the silver, to the clay, to the uranium, to all of the things that's done on this mountain is the holes that have been drilled into the side of the mountains, causing the earth to go out of harmony and out of balance. So she has a high fever and she's sick. It's because of man's manipulation and not understanding the truth and how these things happen to the earth. So these are some of the messages that we'd like people to begin to understand and to stop these things, like what's going on in Alaska, cutting the trees down, cutting a hole in the earth, and developing that area will change the North Pole. And with the earth's out of balance already, and they start doing those things, ooh.
Yeah, this year has been kind of a really interesting year. I had an opportunity to take my granddaughter up to Dry Lake in the second week in July, and almost always that lake is, hence the name, dry. This year it was just brimming full, and the snowpack was all the way down to the lake from the top of San Gorgonio, and that is really unusual. 2 weeks later, we took a trip up to Dollar Lake. This is like the 3rd week in July, almost the 1st of August, and there were icebergs, literally little icebergs in this little lake, and it was phenomenal because part of a little bit of a glacier that had developed from the snowpack coming down into that lake basin. And it was really a unique situation, because usually this time of year when we're back up into that high country, it's pretty dry. Maybe the major streams have a little trickle in them. This year the major streams were flowing in July and August. In fact, they're still up there. We were up there, now we're looking at the first week in November. We were up there just last week, and there's still an abundance of water in all the minor streams, which is really impressive to us, because the vegetation is really full and the wildlife is a little more plentiful than it has been in the past. So yeah, things are really looking great, and this has been a really good year for us. I would say it's been at least 15 years that I know of when we've had snow year-round on that peak, and the streams have been flowing the way they have.
All right, top of the world. Almost 10,000 feet up here, they say. This is the top of Sugarloaf, and this is where we're going to do the ceremony now. And beautiful place up here on cloud 9. The clouds are surrounding us. Beautiful. So right now you can't see Big Bear down that way. It's all souped in with the white clouds. These clouds hold electrical energy. It's mist. And when we vibrate, put our thoughts in, we're going to heal this mountain, and we're going to heal a lot of the land out there, the trees. This is how consciousness works. We start drumming and singing and vibrating for about 4 songs. That sets the intentions and sets the electrical charge back in this mountain up here again. And the vibration of our thoughts put this mountain back into harmony. That means it starts vibrating at the same vibration the sun does. We vibrate the same way the sun does, but when the vibration of the mountain goes away, it's when they mine and develop and shake it with bombing, bad words, anger, and hatred. If we continue to have love and peace and walking in great manners and don't argue and don't fight on these places, we have harmony. That means the vibration is clear, clean, and pure. Consciousness is held by water, but it's also held by the rest of the elements. The earth is the soil, the rocks. The wind is the same thing, the mist. And then you got the fire. The fire is electrical energy that's in the surface, which also turns into be the volcanoes. This is how the earth works, and we forgot because of what has taken place in history. It's not pointing fingers at anyone. It's now we can retrace, go backwards, see what happened, and know why this is what it is, and then go forward. And that's what we're doing in Big Bear, in these mountains. Energizing these mountains, harmonizing these peaks, so that snow will come back here, so the rivers will run 24/7. The springs will run, and the rains will be here. Understand Mother Nature, that she is our mother, and we're only her children. No one owns the earth. If her heartbeat stops, so does ours. We continue to keep draining the energy from her, electrical magnetic energy, her heartbeat will stop. That means she's died. When she dies, no more life on the earth. And when we listen to the heart, ask the heart, what's real, what's right, the heart tells us. But if we ask the mind, we've been taught to rationalize, and we rationalize so much that we make a lie into truth. And this is how greed, anger, hate, judgments come and causes the dysfunction to destroy Mother Nature. Heal this whole mountain everywhere, all in this whole top. You know what's wrong. You've been here, you lived here for so many years. You know the history, you know what's taken place. I ask you to do that. And when you can do those kinds of things, you heal your mountain. You heal yourselves, thinking real clear. The white light of the sun is in here now, and when it hits us, we're crystals. We're made of water. When we use us as a crystal, it becomes very crystal clear within us, releasing any anger, hate, jealousy, then become peaceful. The question came to Dr. Emoto when he was here last. Well, when you clear the water, how long does it take to clear the water? He said it depends on the person. It depends how peaceful the person is. Those people who have that can instantly clear the water and turn it pure. Those who are dark with anger and hatred, it'll take them a lot longer to do what that person can do within a split second. So when we come here and we're very clear with our thought, you can imagine what we can do here, just 4 of us. Because we multiply it when the sun's coming in, and then with the stones we're going to use, these crystals, this is how the earth works. We only came to the earth to understand love and peace and harmony, to live in a beautiful way. Not for greed, not for anger, not for hatred, but to come and do what we're doing today, live in peace and harmony. Then when the rain and the snow and all that comes, we have food in abundance. If we reach down inside ourselves and ask for the truth, it boils forth and says, there's something familiar. And then we begin to remember. That's what it's all about. Love, peace, and harmony, living in trust and honor, and living in a beautiful manner, treating each other as brothers and sisters. 5 is the 5 fingers. 5 fingers comes together, makes 10, makes a whole. When we begin to know white light, how it works, how purity works, how thoughts work, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to put white light into the earth and store it and charge the earth and ask for harmony and peace and love through this valley and erase any negativity of the cowboys fighting, of the rustlers fighting over land, fighting over water, fighting over women, prostitution, mining, etc. Everything that took place in this valley, we're going to ask for it to erase that thought form from the earth, that it never existed here, so it can be back to normal and in peace. When we do that, what happens? We get snow, rain, the springs open, and then we have a beautiful place. So I ask our Father to be with us, to bless this land, to the earth, the wind, the fire, and the water, to release all the negativity that has taken place, and to bring things back into harmony with the beautiful sounds of the songbirds, the wolf, the coyote, the deer, the elk. The sound that they make is a sound that keeps the earth in harmony, and those sounds are missing. And we pray that they come back so that they can all work together in nature, how it works. Much blessings for the squirrels, for the trees that need help because of the blue fungus and the infection that was caused by the chemicals that went into the earth. By blessing the earth, Father Creator, and Mother Earth, we love you very much. Help us. Listen to us today. Bring forth your wisdom and your energies that manifest what we want in peace and love and harmony, having trust and faith as brother to brother. The black, the white, and the yellow and red have turned away from each other, and I pray that they will turn around and face each other and look in the eyes of each other and forgive each other and know that it wasn't our faults or whatever happened. And I ask you to do this for this whole area, Father. You send this message to them through the sky and through the sun and through the moon, through the stars, and asking Mother Earth to do the same. Bring the highest vibration that they can through the sun. You are life, you are the light. You are the way of bringing the sacredness back to the earth, and I thank you for doing that today through the sacred stones of the earth magnets and all the stones that they listen and they hear, and the wind listens, the trees listen. I ask them to help us too. Much blessings for them. I thank Mother for doing these things for us. And Father, I offer this again with love and honor and respect, and ask for blessings for the ancestors who are watching us. I ask for these prayers to go into the clouds, into the mist. All around the world, through the water. Same message for peace and love and harmony. So before you dig into the earth, we're supposed to give something, so we gave prayers. And that way, when I dig this hole, it doesn't leak light, because I said the prayer, so it doesn't leak the energy. That's how it works. And if we go out there and dig a hole, like a mine, or dig a post hole, put the pole in, the energy's leaking out. What can thousands of us do together? One mind, one heart, one thought to the earth. We can clear it and cleanse it and clear all the pollution. The messages that came to me says this: when the water comes back, the water is to be shared freely with everyone. We have wisdom and truth of how things work, how the energy works. The mind is electrical energy and is connected by the sun and makes it work. Our computer. If we're out of order and we have hate and the sun comes in, we'll be 5 times hateful, 20 times or 100. If we're suicidal or murderers, the thought will rise 100 times over. If we think we're sick today, that's our thoughts. We thought that thought, we will be sick. If we think we're not sick, we won't be sick. Thoughts is what makes everything. Harmony or peace, because we create our own heaven or our own hells. And today we're going to create a heavenly place. And some of the stones have messages how to do the ceremonies. Pick up the stone would talk to us because it's a crystal like a computer, and it would tell us all what we needed to know. But before you could hear that, you would have to have peace in your heart, peace in your body, not judgment, and then you would learn that. That's how we know it.
mother's a Paiute, and she comes from the bear clans. That means we work with the bears. The bear is very powerful. And my father is a yellow hand, and so the yellow hands heal sicknesses. When we brought the water here, a blue bear came here. And then we asked for more help. White polar bear showed up, and he had these 2 baskets, this bear. And he asked the people to put their prayers in the baskets, and he would take them to the north. And then on the news it said, "This is very strange, a phenomenon has happened. The solar express winds of the north has entered into California. This has never happened before." Well, why did it happen? Because the polar bear came. The bear is very important. He's the one who works with the weather, and the weather is spiritual, and it's our thoughts, and those spirits, they help us. So that bear went to the north. If you watch the weather patterns on TV, you see him spiraling around that circle. And so the wheel's still spinning, the energy. Every cell is connected, but it's the water that holds our cells together. On the earth, it's the same thing. It's the water that holds it together. There's circles within circles, because the earth is circles and circles. We repair the circles. And so when we're doing our thoughts and drumming, because it's electrical energy like we put around this, the clouds circled around the mountain. This is what's helping the mountain. That's how it works.
When I was really young, I joined a scout group that honored and studied North American Indian. One of the ceremonies when I was inducted into the tribe was close our eyes, try to envision ourselves in the world, and we leaned over a sand painting and we dropped an arrowhead out of our mouth. Basically it was a representation of the world, and I landed in the water. I never understood it, and events took place that put me in a position to bring back the enjoyment of the water at Pan Hot Springs. This was something that I was supposed to find. I wanted to talk to any of the local tribes about stories of ancient burial grounds possibly out there, or a village out there. I included Morongo and San Manuel. I really wanted to learn from them information and knowledge about the springs and how they were utilized and what they meant to the people. And I wanted to honor those things, wanted to incorporate those things.
Circles within circles. 4 directions. What's above is below. What we did below here is what we did up there. Last time there was a polar bear that came to the ceremony, and this year again they invited this spiritual bear to come. And it was carrying a basket and asked us to put our offerings in the basket. And it would take it to the North Pole, to the bear constellation, talk to the bears, the polar bear. There's a big white bear that came, and it's here again. So we asked the white bear to do this. So we call upon the white bear at this time to bring the blessing to the north, to the ancestors of the north, and to bring this power that we're looking for, of the blessings for the water to come, to the springs, to the rains, to the water aquifers, to the peaks of the mountains, to make them white with snow, which represents the milk of Mother Earth that brings us new life and new breath and rebirth. So I pray that the Great Spirit will do this for all of us from the breast of our Mother Earth. her mounds and her breasts up there. I ask them to fill up with the whiteness of the sacredness and to take these messages to the Great Spirit, to the Bear clans and the Bear nations, to bring upon great snow and strength and wisdom that we're all needing within our minds and our hearts, is this white strength called sacredness. Take an offering, put your prayers and thoughts on it, and think about it. Keep our great thoughts and wisdom and clarity about us, because what we're doing, we are going to manifest what's needed. And that bear will come take these, and our prayers and thoughts will go in the fire. As soon as we pour the offerings into the fire, it will rise, and the north winds will catch it, and the messages are out, and the bear takes it. That's how it works. Messages or dreams or visions, I ask respectfully that you share these messages with us, because they're very important messages, because we are the dreamers of the future. With our messages that the ancestors sent to us within us all, they bring peace and wisdom and clarity. Candles right here represents the male and the female. On the left hand side is the feminine and the masculine. So these two colors, they work together, representing the heartbeat and all creation. I'd like this to go on every day for us to do this kind of stuff, and then just go out and gather food and come back and enjoy each other. It used to be that way one time, and we're going to go back to some of these ways again in the future. So I pray that all of us will come into peace again.
Well, I've been helping Fred fix his well ever since 1999 when I married his daughter.
I was having problems with it occasionally. Every year I had to pull it out and add an extra 10 feet to it or an extra 20 feet to it and put it back in. And then that summer it would go down even lower.
The well kept sucking up a lot of dirt. It's quite a job. There's a lot of work to it and pulling up all the pipe. I'm a pretty skeptical person, and I didn't really buy into the whole Blue Thunder changing things around here.
After we started the cleansing of the mountains and the peaks back in November of '05, my well, about a week later, starts artesianing. And my well has never artesianed.
Fred called me up and said, "We're not going to have a problem with the well anymore, Will." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Well, it's artesianing now." And what that means is it means that water is actually squirting out of the top of the well. It went from being between 60 and 80 feet down to actually squirting out of the top of the well.
Since that time, my water levels have stayed up.
That made an instant believer out of me.
We're a unique ecological environment in that we are at the airport level is 6,750 feet. Then you have the ski areas that are going to go up, of course, higher than that. And basically it's a valley, and it's a mountain valley, and it's a bowl. So the water that we drink, the water that is in our aquifers, is the water that comes from the rain. We don't have any other water pumped in here. So currently what's happening in our community is that because of our concern that there will not be enough water for future needs, BARWA, the Regional Wastewater Agency, has proposed to do an aquifer recharge program, which would involve taking highly treated sewage water, mixing it 50-50 with potable water, and putting it back into the ground and then pumping it back out of the aquifer. This is an exceedingly expensive project. And frankly, myself, I really don't want to drink highly treated wastewater. It's going to be hard for me to accept that it's cleaner than the water we have now.
Living here for like the 59 years, 58 years that I've lived here, you know, and I grew up chasing squirrels around, and I was walking in the same areas that I walked in when I was a kid growing up. There was nothing there but just brush and trees. Those same areas now being hundreds of houses, and all of those areas completely gone. Development and mining and subdivisions and minor subdivisions and building that we have is taking away from the resources, the water that we do have here.
We have absolutely uncontrolled growth in building. And anybody that wants to build, it's yes, 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 and bigger the better and the faster. And so now we're running out of water. We're digging in and plowing and shoving aside nature and putting in, you know, parking lots and houses.
I would like to see these agencies think outside the box. And for example, with the cloud seeding, the thought of bringing someone in with indigenous knowledge was not something that any of the agencies had thought of. I believe that the work that Blue Thunder is doing is going to save our community millions of dollars, not even to mention the health benefits of the quality of the water. It's just been such a blessing, as far as I'm concerned, that we were able to meet Blue Thunder back last year. We met September 10th, I think, and by November 20th, the cloud seeding was not going to happen. The medicine wheel was done. We had tons of precipitation. It was just phenomenal.
My concerns now are that I'd like to see what started a year ago with Blue Thunder to continue. That we've got this marvelous land here, and that we do what we can to restore balance. But it seems with all this science, modern man doesn't really know where to turn. And perhaps maybe the best way to turn is to the traditions and knowledges of the land, of the ancient peoples, the caretakers of the land that were here before. And Blue Thunder has brought these knowledges and these traditions to us in a way to help bring balance to our land and to help teach us how to maintain the land as our ancestors had once done.
For me, the thing that really highlighted was the energy that was created when we sat around your little medicine wheels, but only the 3 or 4 of us, and it actually made the hair on the back of my neck kind of stand up a little. And when you could feel the wind start blowing, and you know there wasn't any wind prior.
The energy of the environment around us.
That was just pretty monumental for me.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm sitting right there thinking, I don't know, and then all of a sudden you know what? I think maybe I do know. And all these things that you thought about were actually happening.
These medicine wheel ceremonies that we had were very helpful and very enlightening for myself, not ever being around something like this in my life before.
I think we're just starting to appreciate, Fred's always been this way, and myself as well, but I think more so, just appreciating what we have here, and the fact that, you know, we really do need to take care of it. And it doesn't mean, in my opinion, going overboard, but I want to be able to pass some of this on, not only to my grandson. One of the things I tell my grandson when I take him, he says, well, why are we doing this, Grandpa? I said, so that you will be able to do the same thing for your grandchildren, and they for their grandchildren. And it even makes this 8-year-old kid start thinking about what period of time we're talking about. You want to be able to preserve some of this stuff and still be able to get along with folks, you know. But I want to be able to see this, and I want to be able to have my grandchildren see it as well. and appreciate it.
We decided it was time to meet monthly and really take part in ceremony. And part of that, again, thankful to Blue Thunder, he was really telling us, this is your valley. It's time to be stewards. And so it's time for you to step up and take a role here. There was a vision that came forward for a group called Earth Heal. And the HEAL part stands for Humanity and Earth Alliance for Life. We continued with monthly ceremonies up until this day. It's just really time that we all take responsibility to be stewards for our Earth. We're working to heal ourselves and to come together in community and bring our efforts forth to bring more wholeness to our planet.
I think that Big Bear has the potential to be a model community. Because we are a self-contained community, we're kind of isolated. This is a place where we could demonstrate the effect of consciousness on the water. If the powers that be in this community in particular would recognize what our man's relationship is with nature, what that stewardship really means. It's not necessary for us to be so heavy-handed with Mother Earth. And this, I'm hoping, is the place where we'll be able to demonstrate that there's another way to do it. And that if we understand, and I believe the Blue Thunder has an amazing, phenomenal understanding of how the Earth operates, that if we could learn at least some of that and make our choices as a community along those lines, that we could do great, great things, and we could show the rest of the world that this can be done. And that is truly my hope. And again, it costs nothing. These ways of doing things do not cost millions and millions of dollars. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful about what we can show here.
Sacred land, sacred bison, sacred man.